My name is Felix. I am 22 years old, and I earn a living off of small-time jobs. Made some bad decisions during my teenage years, and I dropped out of high school at the age of 18. I was young, wild, and reckless. I didn't care about anyone's opinion, and I was privileged enough to be born in a decent household. My father earned a lot of money, so I never got a job. But I came to my senses after my dad passed away in an accident. I was still 18. The burden to provide for the family now fell upon my shoulders. I had to put food on the table for myself, my mother, and my 7-year-old sister from then on. I did a lot of odd work just to get a sustainable income. I mowed lawns, babysat for my neighbors, walked other people's dogs, just to get my hands on a few dollars. At 20 years old, I was not only doing the work I did when I was 18, but I also got a nighttime job as a security guard in a mall. I was working really hard every day just to survive, and I was sleep deprived most of the time. So after working like this for 2 years, I became very irritable and short-tempered. I got fired from my job for misbehaving with the owner's son. Until that point of time, I didn't know that saving a girl from 2 drunk men catcalling her was misbehaving, but okay, whatever. I started looking for another nighttime job on Craigslist, and I came across an ad. It was a job offer by a cab company. It read, "Position open as a night shift cab driver at R Cabs. Work 6 hours a day, 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., 6 days a week. Earn $150 a day. For more information, call the number below." I was excited on seeing such a great offer. I calculated the monthly income, which came out to a total of around $3,600 a month. With this amount of money, I could stop mowing lawns and taking care of babies, all while providing for my family, and even buying them gifts every once in a while. Not to mention the fact that, because I wouldn't be working day shifts if I got this job, I could catch up on my sleep. I called up the number given on the ad. A smooth, high-pitched male voice answered the call. He introduced himself as Dave. I asked about the job, and after a quick interview over the phone, I was hired. The only thing that struck me as odd were some of the questions that he had asked. The majority of them were pretty normal though. Are you nocturnal or have difficulty staying up at night? What's your age? But he also asked some rather odd questions. Are you an imaginative man? Can you follow a strict list of rules to the T if asked to? Can you keep calm under hazardous conditions and drive safe, even when you're speeding? The questions raised some red flags, but I was too blinded by the high amount of pay that they were offering. He told me that I could start as soon as today. I looked at the clock hanging from the wall. It was 10:12 p.m. I told him that I would be there at 12 a.m. sharp. My mother was ecstatic when I gave her the news. She was more happy with the fact that I could spend more time with her and catch up on some sleep than she was with the pay. I thought of buying her something nice as soon as I completed my first month of work and I collected the first check. I reached the decided location at 11:58 p.m. It was only a kilometer away from my house, so I didn't bother bringing my car. As Dave said, the company will be providing the cabs. At 12 a.m. sharp, a Prius pulled up and it parked in front of me. A man wearing all black got out of the car, and he walked over to me. He greeted me with a warm smile and gave me the keys to the car that I was supposed to be driving. It was the Prius. He congratulated me on getting the job. He set up the RCAB app on my mobile phone, and just before leaving, handed me a piece of paper and $150, and then said, "Read the paper as soon as you can. It is a list of rules for you to follow." With this, he turned around, and he started walking into the night. After I saw him turn the corner, I got into the car, closed the doors, and smoothed out the folded piece of paper, and started reading. It read, "Hey Felix, this is Dave. Now, there is something you should understand. Only you can read the text on this paper. So there's no point going to the cops or suing us, because frankly, no one would believe you. Just keep that in mind. And also, the majority of the people that you'll pick up and drop off will not be human. Rule 1. If you get a pickup request from a number with only 6 digits, call them up and politely decline. Do not go within 100 meters of their location for the next 2 hours. Always apologize and make up a reason why you cannot come. The creature doesn't take rude remarks well. Rule number 2. Always seat the passengers in the back seat and check their mirror reflection. If they have a reflection, drop them off to their location and do not ask for money. They will pay as they wish. If they do not have a reflection, take the pistol in the glove compartment and use it on yourself. It will be a marginally painless death compared to what they will do to you. Rule number 3. Do not eat anything non-vegetarian in the cab. The smell of meat might capture some creatures' unwanted attention. And believe me when I say, you do not want their attention. Rule number 4. If you get a call from a person you know, do not answer the call. It is not them. If you do respond to them, you will hear a deafening screech, which has been responsible for bursting eardrums in the past. Rule number 5. Do not try to abandon the car on the road, or you will die the most brutal way your brain can imagine. Yes, they can read minds. Rule number 6. You cannot give this job up without working here for at least 2 weeks. For reasons I cannot specify because of the company's policy. Rule number 7. If there are dark figures running along the car, speed up and try to ignore them. Do not stop or slow down. If you maintain a speed of 80+ kilometers per hour, they will not be able to reach you. The other option is driving on a busy road. They will perform mock charges and give you illusions that they are gaining on you. But if you're driving fast, just keep driving fast for 3 to 4 more minutes and they will be gone. Rule number 8. If you smell rotten meat in the back seat, do not look behind you. Instead, take the pistol from the glove compartment, close your eyes, turn around and fire on all the 3 back seats. It'll be gone. It can't hurt you if you can't see it. Rule number 9. If your engine dies down, do not step out of the car. It is a bait to get you outside. Wait for 20 to 30 minutes, and the car should start right back up. Rule number 10. Do not dial anyone. They will not pick up. Calling for help also annoys the creatures after you. Your most beloved person might die of natural causes the next day if you try to reach out to people who will not be picking up because their phones won't even be ringing. Rule number 11. At 6 a.m., bring this car to your house, leave the key in, and walk back inside your home. The car will disappear in an hour or so, and it'll be right back there the next night at 12 a.m. I chuckled at the stupid list. Scary prank on the new guy, huh? I whispered under my breath, and I started driving. After about 5 to 10 minutes, my mom started calling. Just before I could pick up out of instinct, I froze with fear. I could smell the scent of rotting meat. I slowly opened the glove compartment, took out the pistol, closed my eyes, and then turned around and shot 6 rounds, 2 bullets at each seat. I heard a loud shriek. After about 5 seconds, I opened my eyes up to see that these seats were empty, but one of the windows was open, and there was some red left on the left seat. I cleaned it up with a towel that I kept in the glove compartment, and I started driving again. I soon got a request. It was a regular number. I started driving towards its location. The passenger was a girl. She got in the back seat and I started driving. I slowly tilted the rearview mirror, hoping and praying that she had a reflection. Luckily, she did. We eventually reached her destination, which was on a farm on the outskirts of town. She tipped me $10 and got out of the car, and climbed up one of the farm's walls with ease. I sat there in the car, shocked. Eventually, the bleating of goats and the sound of flesh tearing broke me out of my trance, and I started driving away quickly. After half an hour of contemplating what I had just witnessed, I received another request. I checked its location. It was as if my heart stopped beating. When I saw the passenger's number, it only had 6 digits, and it was just 87 meters away from me. I started my car back up, and I started driving. It was gaining on me. I started panicking. It was only 50 meters away from me now, and I could now feel the ground shaking, footsteps, and low-pitched growls. I sped up to nearly 100 kilometers per hour and noticed that I was successfully moving away from it. I was at 92 meters away from it when I noticed them. The dark figures. They were running alongside my car. I almost swerved off the road and into a wall 2 times, but I kept my cool and I tried my best to ignore them. The figures, which looked like shadows of a human just a minute ago, distorted into demonic shadows within seconds. The walls around me started to bleed. I somehow maintained a consistent speed of nearly 100 kilometers per hour without crashing. And after a short, intense change, everything was suddenly back to normal. I was beginning to think that I had lost my mind. I wanted to call my mother, but with everything that had happened to us up until that point, I didn't want to break a rule. And then I remembered. I had to make a call to the passenger and apologize. And that's what I did. It sounded like some charismatic young person over the phone, but I knew better. After this whole ordeal was over, it was just 4 a.m., and the next 2 hours passed by pretty normally. I picked up 3 more passengers, but they seemed normal, and I did exactly what Dave told me to do. Parked the car outside of my house and I went to sleep. I woke up at 9 a.m. and gave my mother the $150. She was really happy. I knew if I told her what had actually gone down, that she would not believe me. So, I'm sitting here typing this at 10 p.m. I do not want to go back to that car again, but I have no option and no one will believe me. If I don't make it, here lies my story. If I do make it through this night, I'll be grateful to God. I just wanted to know, has anybody else gotten this job offer from our cabs?